This is the biggest name in Australian wrestling, the J-Stick, JXT, and you're watching Wrestling with Entertainment.
Uh, hello, and welcome to the show. It's Wrestling with Entertainment, the only audio experience on the web today. Previewing and reviewing the latest shows from WWE, AEW, New Japan, and everything in between every Saturday, and interviewing all your favorite wrestlers every Wednesday on YouTube and Castbox, sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee. I'm your host, that guy, James Shea, alongside the leader of Squash Squad, Kaliko Yachts, who is not here at the moment, but who is the Americans good at us?
Hmm. Who is the American Stewardess? That's me. Uh, if Liar's pants really did catch on fire, the news would be a lot more interesting to watch.
And last week on Wrestling with Interviews, we interviewed GXT, incredible guy from established a promotion I hold dearly, Deathmatch Down Under. We had interesting topics to talk about, like getting injured before a match, wrestling figure deathmatch. You got to ask the Bolo King question for only the
Yes,
fourth time ever, I believe.
yes, for only the third time ever.
Third or fourth, I can't remember. We've had some
I,
awesome Australians, though.
I don't know, but I was left a hungry jack after that.
I think we were all hungry for a little bit more GXT, and hopefully we could bring that to you in the future. Um, this upcoming Wednesday, we got Chelsea Durden. And there's a few interviews that are unlike anything we've ever done before. This is definitely one of them. Um, Besides just really getting to know the personality of Chelsea, she brings up, and we bring up, the most philosophical question in pro wrestling ever. Who did Bret Hart ever beat? No,
The
Scooter?
answer is the answer is not his wife. Uh, Seriously, she's a very nice Jewish girl who married a nice Jewish boy. And out of all the interviews we've done, this was definitely one of them.
And if you don't believe us, here's a quick clip of that interview.
Oh, and don't forget to follow my husband on Twitter and Instagram at Samson Lion Zion to help contribute to the wonderful experience of every time my husband gains a new follower, he looks at me and goes, "Who the hell is this?" Because he has no concept of people being fans of him and wanting to follow him for that reason. So help me out, guys.
Alright, now that we're done putting ourselves over, it's a great day for wrestling, as we are wrestling with WWE WrestleMania 38, Night 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. We're even talking about Night 5 as well. It was April 2nd and 3rd. It took place in Arlington, Texas, at AT&T Stadium. Attendance for night one was 77,899. The night two was 78,453. That can be disputed, probably will. Um, what can't be disputed was that this was a WrestleMania we've been waiting a very long time to have. No, Scooter?
Yes, it absolutely it is the one we had been waiting for. It also is the one that probably made us go WTF.
You're not wrong about that. Um, and we'll talk. When Kaliko brought that up like 2 weeks ago, you're like, yeah, he might be right, but boy, was he fucking right. Alright, let's get into it. First match out of the gate. We got the Usos wrestling Shinsuke Nakamura and Rick Boogs for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. The Usos came out with the W, and Rick Boogs came out with an injury. Your thoughts on the match, and how would you rate this first match of Mania?
If Boogs hadn't tried to go for that Superman spot, it probably would have been a better start. But it kind of lends a little bit of credence to the fact that WrestleMania has somewhat of a little bit of a curse associated with it now.
That being?
You come in for your first WrestleMania, there's a good chance you might get injured. It's like the Madden cover curse.
Elaborate.
Boog's first WrestleMania comes in, he gets injured. Oh God, there were, damn it, there were others. Oh shit. Who else?
You're
Oh
kind
God,
of you're kind of getting lost here, Stu.
Ahmed Johnson. Uh, injured after WrestleMania 12. And 13 for that matter.
And the week before that, and the week after that, and the month after that, and the week after that. What? Ahmed Johnson should not be your baseline here, man.
Eat a reef. But there might be a silver lining to this.
That being?
Well, if I'm seeing things correctly, it looks like the bloodline could be going for all the gold. That includes unifying the tag titles, and we'll talk about the Raw tag titles a little bit later. But this now frees up Nakamura.
Does it though? Because it seems like they were just saving him for a Rick Boone's tag team to
Well,
kind of bring him back, and now it seems like they're just going to suffer him until Boots comes back.
well, considering last night on SmackDown, the seeds were laid for a Roman Nakamura program.
And I would definitely agree with that, but there's been a few times when they planted seeds for a Nakamura Roman feud, and it just never
But,
happened.
but you know, there was an idea I mentioned a while back that what if you put the top three former New Japan stars that the WWE has and put them in the team warfare against the Bloodline?
I mean, that's definitely an option.
It's definitely something to think about. But let's move on from this tragedy. Rick Boogs torn quadricep patella, which I don't know if that's even a thing because I'm pretty sure the quadricep and the patella are two separate things.
I think it was both at the same time.
Oh, he pulled a Vince.
Pulled the Vince.
But I started, and I started to like Boogs, but and also part of me was thinking maybe the whole Nakamura thing was getting a little bit stale.
Yeah, I still pop for it. It seemed like the people were really into it as well.
I mean, if he comes back dressed in neon green and they call him the Booger Man,
Oh God, Bastion Booger's little brother.
great, 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 not so great grandson.
All right, how many stars do you give this opening match?
Uh, I give it two quadricep shaped stars.
I give it 2 stars. It could have been 3 if Boobs didn't get hurt. Alright, that brings us to our next match. Drew McIntyre defeated Happy Corbin in 8 minutes and 35 seconds. How many stars would you give this one, Sweeto?
As much as I love Drew McIntyre, uh, he constantly gets the shaft here, but
The guy with the sword gets the shaft.
yeah, basically, then he gets the circumcision as well. Oh God, 2 stars, and I think that's being generous.
Um, I'll give it 3 just because the right guy won, and it didn't go longer than it should have. Um, we begin what the fuck Mania with The Miz and Logan Paul defeated Ray and Dominic Mysterio in 11 minutes and 15 seconds. How many stars?
I'll give it a solid 3.
Hmm. And it kind of seems like celebrities kind of start. Celebrities have always been a part of WrestleMania in some aspect. But it seems like the new celebrities are kind of stepping up. I mean, nobody expected Logan Paul to have a legitimate match. I feel like this all kind of started with Bad Bunny just a year ago, no?
Well, a lot of people forget that Logan Paul was also involved in WrestleMania last year as well.
But not in a match.
Yeah, it's true, and Bad Bunny happened to be. This is why I think he's the exception, not the rule.
Well, I mean, Stephen Amell had a couple matches in both WWE and AEW as well.
Well, and now with season 2 of Heels and a certain someone being, executive producer on that show,
Is
when
Cody
it make it
executive?
banned.
Is Cody executive producer?
Yes, he's at least that and a consultant.
Hmm. So that's kind of coming into the domain of WWE as well now. But we'll talk about that later.
Well, well, it is now.
Hmm. Um, this was a 2 star match, honestly. But does it kind of seem like WWE knew what they were doing, um, card wise, getting the shit that probably people didn't want to see out of the way before they got to the kind of the main attractions?
Yes, I think finally for once they took a look at the card and realized, okay, you know what? Let's build an escalating scale of matches, and let's have the next match outdo the previous one in some way.
Is that good in some aspects but bad in others because you kind of gas the fans by having one banger after another.
Yes, I see that point, but then that's why there are the segments in between. See, you can't really disrupt the flow of a show with a segment.
I see what you mean. And that brings us to our next match.
Oh wait,
Bianca
wait,
Bel.
hold on. Wait a minute. Uh, should we talk about the fact that Miz turned on Logan Paul?
That's right, he did. And there was literally no explanation on Raw the next night.
Nope. That aside from the fact that Miz wanted to show Logan Paul that Logan Paul isn't the star he thinks he is, which the Miz is an absolute fucking hero for that. Um, because Logan Paul is the worst thing since uh he's the worst thing since ass cancer, basically. But
Damn.
uh,
That is how you really feel, Scooter.
oh no, don't believe you don't want to hear me describe what type of cancer Jake Paul is. Uh,
Another topic for another
inoperable,
show.
inoperable. It's like, why are they? I really hope they're not intending to do Miz and Logan at WrestleMania 39, which this might reek of. And in fact, it'll probably be Jake and Logan against the Miz and whomever.
Maurice.
God.
Um, I don't think they can afford Jake Paul at this point. But if they're doing something with this, I don't see WrestleMania 39, maybe WrestleMania 39 Backlash.
Oh,
Uh,
they'll pay him in internet points.
with those NFTs.
Oh God, don't get me started on NFTs. I worked on a whole project last night about how Nike is getting into the NFTs,
Those
and
damn
no, and
NFTers.
no, and no, they're not getting into nice fucking tits.
Um, uh, to your point, I think that the Miz turn on Logan Paul, though it was nice for the moment, kind of just falls flat because of nobody didn't follow up on it the next night.
I mean, I do think it's like the WWE is like catering to the fans, like, hey, we realize Logan Paul's an asshole. Praise us.
The next match, we got Bianca Belair defeating Becky Lynch for the Raw Women's Championship in 19 minutes and 10 seconds. How would you rate this match, Scooter? How many stars?
I'm gonna give it a very, very solid 4. Uh, this we all thought maybe we know what they should do was different from what we are kind of expecting them to do. Luckily, they went with what they should do and got a hell of a match, an absolute gem of a match. Uh, not to mention that Bianca Belair makes history, uh, becoming not just the first African American superstar to win both women's titles consecutively in back-to-back WrestleManias, but the first woman in general to win them consecutively in separate matches.
And I'm not saying that she is or it could be, but I did hear that some people were saying that Bianca could kind of become the Mrs. WrestleMania with these bangers she's been having the last 2 years. I mean, if
Well,
she has the right dancing partner, of course.
see, I mean, Mrs. WrestleMania. When did she and WrestleMania get married? Uh, uh,
Miss
that's
WrestleMania.
that's Ms. WrestleMania. That's Miss WrestleMania, not Ms. WrestleMania. Um, yeah, oh, absolutely, absolutely. But then again, I could probably also argue there's someone else that could hold that distinction as well. We'll get to that later.
Alright. I give this a solid 4 as well. Becky operating on a whole nother level. Bianca keeping up. She got that gnarly black eye because of this match. Um, and just it seemed like Bianca wasn't going to win it from the build up, but they obviously did the right thing. And should we talk about what happened with Bianca the next night on Raw as well, since we're at this moment?
Yeah, might as well go ahead.
She came out and just talked to the crowd, told them that she will be a fighting champion and hold it longer than she did the first time around. A lot of people expected either Asuka or Bailey to come out. More apparently Bailey. That did not happen, leaving some people to scratch their heads. Um, I feel like a Bailey Bianca rivalry is kind of repetitive at this point. They did that last year. But Asuka would have been pretty good, great, right?
Oh, absolutely. Um, although I can see them wanting to save a potential Oscar Bianca match because it's one of the few things we haven't seen on the main roster yet.
I don't think we saw that on NXT either.
I I yeah, no, you're right. I'm confusing Oscar with Shayna. Um, however, if when Oscar comes back, I think there's a built-in program with Becky there.
But possibly Rhea as well.
Yeah, possibly Rhea. Um, because we haven't gotten Oscar and Becky with Becky as the heel.
And I think first and foremost, Bailey is a SmackDown competitor, correct?
Yes, yes,
So if she should be going after anybody at this point, it should be a Charlotte or somebody on that side of the fence. But I feel like you know they should save. You're absolutely right. Oscar should be saved for a major program and not just enhancement talent for Bianca. That begs the question: who should be the first person that Bianca takes down at WrestleMania Backlash?
well, honestly, given that everyone is basically almost tied up in the in the women's tag title scene, uh, if they decide not to, decide to just not pay attention to the titles, I see maybe even a Sasha match. But signs to me point to either Shayna or Alexa.
Hmm, that'd be interesting. I was thinking maybe a Rhea.
But yeah, but they're giving her that the potential heel turn with Liv, and
And that would be the perfect opportunity to turn on
I
Liv, take
I
your
could
title match.
yes, but then Rhea is a stepping stone again, and that's doing her a little bit dirty to me.
Fair enough. Alright, let's get on to the next match. We got Seth freaking Rollins wrestling Cody Rhodes in a singles match.
No, James, let's say it properly. The American Nightmare!
I didn't know if that Alba did commentary, announcing.
Let's
But,
say it with the properness it deserves.
well, Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare, made his triumphant return in 21 minutes and 40 seconds. This was an absolute masterpiece of a match. But when you have somebody like a Seth Rollins wrestling a Cody Rhodes, how could it not be, right?
Yeah, absolutely. There's no other way to say that.
5 stars.
5. Yep, 5. And Cody makes his in-ring Raw return this coming Monday, and his first opponent is The Miz.
Well, who would you have him wrestle?
I find it funny since I would think maybe they would go for a Cody Miz feud based on the fact that they were reality stars. However, this got me thinking. Okay, Cody got all those projects while in AEW, and it's still and the Good Big Show still aired while he after he left AEW. Here's the thing: TBS is also airing another show featuring a 16-time WWE champion.
Really?
Yeah, John Cena hosts Wipeout.
Oh, that I forget that John Cena is a fucking 16-time champion. And here I
So,
thought Ric Flair was on Rat in the Kitchen.
so, technically, John Cena is working for the competition, essentially. Um, but therein lies, just nothing will come of it. I just wanted to point that out. Um, Again, I really thought Cody and The Miz would be, at least a one-off pay-per-view feud. I
It
mean,
technically still can be.
yeah, it still can. The promos that we would get out of it would be absolute gold.
Well,
Um,
I feel like Cody has bigger fish to fry right now.
Yeah.
And, you know,
Well,
The Miz is essentially the gatekeeper. You come back, you get a win over The Miz. That kind of seems like, you know, the norm in WWE. It's Kofi Kingston for the heels and The Miz for the faces. But there was, you know, uh, Cody did speak about the issue. I don't want to say issues, but I think issues is the best word to describe them. That he had with AEW. He couldn't come to terms with what AEW was offering him. And, it kind of seems like at the time, yeah, getting Daniel Bryan and CM Punk was a great investment at that moment. Um, but it cost you Cody Rhodes, who, when let's face it, when Bryan Danielson goes back to WWE and CM Punk decides he doesn't want to be there no more, could have still been a big part of the company. Is this hindsight 2020 thing not the best? Maybe not the best decision for Tony Khan to make.
uh, I mean, Tony does seem to be kind of losing his marbles a little bit. Uh, he's been going off on social media on those who are staunchly anti AEW, claiming that all the accounts uh, that voice their dislike for AEW are all alternate accounts purchased by one pathetic individual. Um,
Well, I really feel like Vince McMahon has better things to do than buy social media accounts.
no, he wasn't implying it was Vince. He was just implying that
Levesque?
no, he wasn't implying that it was anybody. The fact that he was just implying it at all, implying that oh no, nobody really hates AEW.
That's not true. We hate AEW because their fans are so pro AEW and shit on literally anything that isn't AEW.
I mean, 9/10 of their funniest materials are the guys that bring the video game signs in the crowd.
Not to mention that, and spoiler alert, Samoa Joe made a return to Ring of Honor slash AEW last week. His first match was against Max Caster, and my God, did Max verbally destroy Joe before he even got in the ring? And most of it was basically true, but it was at the point where Samoa Joe was nodding his head. Yeah, that happened.
Well, good on it on Joe to be that good sport, but again,
You said good sport, not blood sport, right?
no, not Bloodsport. No, he'll never be a member of the Suicide Squad. Even though Samoa Joe is actually doing the voice of King Shark in the upcoming Suicide Squad video game.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, that's awesome.
Um. God, Tony. I'm convinced at this point Tony has figured out how to grow money on trees.
Well, let's shift it back to Cody here. He leaves his brother in AEW, and it seems like that's the right place for him right now. And he even got a locker room out of it, Cody's old locker room. If you, yeah, his Cody said in an interview, his brother, the first thing he had told him after he left wasn't, I'm proud of you, I love you, good luck there. It was, can I have your locker room? So we know how that relationship's going.
Well, it turns out Cody gave him brandies, complete with milking station.
Well, he almost would have been able to use them if he would have made a horrible choice during the Attitude Era, but that's another time conversation for another topic.
Ah, bit tits.
Yeah. Um, you said a Miz Cody rivalry to kind of set him up. If he doesn't go for something major right off the bat, is this run almost wasted before it begins?
The question is, are they willing to let Cody be successful in that immediate chase right off the bat?
Well,
Because Cody's gonna Cody's gonna be challenging Roman soon.
but
In fact, I would say probably you know screw it, no, not SummerSlam. In fact, I'll even say it now. Cody wins Money in the Bank.
hmm. So you're saying that is the guy to take down Roman?
Well, given that they finally brought Gunther up, if they don't ruin Gunther, then Gunther would essentially be that guy.
But should it be this version of Gunther?
No, 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 no.
And
But you
when I
know,
say that, I mean, he slimmed down tremendously, and
yes, he
great
is
on
good,
him. But he doesn't seem like he's that.
threatening anymore.
Yeah.
Yep, yep. That's absolutely. But you know, now, now I can believe that Cody can beat Roman. I believe he can. And Cody and Roman is an epic feud based on history alone.
The Brotherhood versus the Shield.
No, the the Samoans and the Rhodes.
Oh, okay. I got you.
They
It's two
are wrestling
legacies.
royalty
Okay.
essentially.
No, you're not wrong about that. Hmm. Now, can Roman be? What? Let's save that conversation when we get there. We'll talk about that next time. Let's get into our next match. Charlotte Flair defeated Ronda Rousey for the WWE SmackDown Women's Championship in 18 minutes and 30 seconds. And what kind of WrestleMania match was this, Scooter?
Box Fest.
I was gonna say Botchmania, but we still got them.
Oh,
Yeah.
and I know he's not here, but Kaliko, man, coming to us with like, it's gotta be Ronda. It's gotta be.
Maybe that's why he's not here tonight. He didn't want to hear the. It wasn't Ronda. I mean, Scott, what are your thoughts on Ronda Rousey, student?
Fuck Ronda Rousey.
That's what
Even
Charlotte
even
definitely said.
even more so. Now, good God.
Are you
Like,
talking about the whole breast pop on Charlotte?
no, that was cool. I mean, also, let's face it, who hasn't seen Charlotte's boobies? Um,
Well, not in a match that was supposed to be PG.
we don't want to see him in a match. We want to see them if they're stolen from her phone. Duh. Don't actually do that, ladies and gentlemen. Um, but she does have some lovely tattoos that she keeps hidden.
Was it just was the wardrobe malfunction just to experiment if OnlyFans is possible in the future? Because I
I,
mean, a lot of
I don't.
people saw that Tony Storm made $1 million in an hour.
I mean, yeah, she made it from flicking her bean. I mean,
Baked or
we
broken
all
beans?
we all recognize the tattoo, Tony. There's no fooling us. Um, if if that had been anybody else in the ring but Charlotte, this would have been a lot worse.
You're probably not wrong about that.
And this is where I make my argument that Charlotte could be considered Miss WrestleMania.
After this match, I don't feel like that's a viable option.
But given her, she but she carried Ronda.
She carried Ronda, yes, but I feel like she's been in too many multi-woman matches for that kind of be plausible. You know, Bianca has had two singles matches that were legitimately a pleasure to watch, to the point where I would give Bianca a WrestleMania match where it was just her and somebody telling a story, no title attached, and it could still be the match of the night. Case in point, Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes. You kind of understand what I'm getting at?
Yeah, yes, but the question is, would the WWE ever really do that with the women? And the answer is, I don't think so.
Well,
I mean, when they
we're still a
when
couple
they
years off of that.
well,
Bianca
yeah, I
needs
mean,
a couple more matches under her belt for us to kind of think about this.
I mean, Lita came back and they had to put her in a title match. You didn't have to put Lita in a title match.
They didn't have to, but it was for. That was kind of the story that they were telling. Was does Lita have one more title run in her? Can she win the big one more time?
I mean, but what is more important, proving that you can have one more title run on a fluke win, or one more great match that the fans will remember? That's the never-ending argument.
Well, the match with Becky at Elimination Chamber was a good match. There's no doubt about that. But it's just what am I getting at? We're far off from you know people wanting to see a Bianca Belair match just for the sake of having a Bianca Belair match. I mean, we're there with Becky Lynch already. I mean, you could buy a ticket saying, I just want to see Becky Lynch, and that would be fine. But I feel like Bianca still needs a little bit more time to cook in the oven before we give her that type. She gets to that type of popularity.
Yeah.
All right, painfully, how many stars would you give Charlotte and Ronda?
Give it 2.5 nipples. I mean stars.
I feel like you're generous with that. A half. I feel like this is just a 2-star match. And that brings us to our main event, the KO Show with Kevin Owens, starring Stone Cold Steve Austin.
AKA the I Told You So match.
Oh yeah, you're right. Um, it was they came in the ring, they talked for a little while. He called him a jackass, an asshole, a bastard, a son of a bitch. Everything that
Piece of
they
shit.
piece of shit. Um,
Which I think that might be the first time shit has ever been uttered in an interview at WrestleMania.
I feel like it might have been somewhere in there during the Attitude Era.
Well, if it was censored.
Right to censor?
Left to censor.
Anyway, the chaos so turned into an impromptu match that nobody saw coming. Uh, that brings us to Stone Cold Steve Austin. First time in 19 years wrestling and defeating Kevin Owens in a no holds barred match in 13 minutes and 55 seconds. And honestly, I did not think it went that long. Um, what did you think of Stone Cold Steve Austin's first match in 19 years?
Well, he wasn't putting on, a 7-star clinic in the Tokyo Dome. Uh, but, yeah, Austin can at least still make it look convincing even after almost 20 years. Uh, when I look at stuff I did 20 years ago, I just feel sad and old. Uh, yeah, but I mean, it was decent. It was vintage Stone Cold. It played up to all of Austin's strengths. Showcased none of his weaknesses. Um, thank God the man can take a take a bump again, which really makes me think. You know, how much earlier could we have gotten Austin actually back competing full time?
That
But
might be a good topic of
that
discussion on that new What If
yes,
program that
yes, that might be a very good topic on what if. And actually, I'm inserting at least a chapter about it. There'll be at least one sub episode, maybe even an epilogue. About because that whole first episode I mentioned is about what if Hogan Austin and WrestleMania 18, but that's neither here nor there. Austin against another Canada's second favorite son.
I think he might become the favorite son after this match. I mean, the last person to main event WrestleMania with Stone Cold was the fucking Rock.
The fucking Rock.
The fucking Rock, yeah. Next year, Seth freaking Rollins versus the fucking
The
Rock.
fucking Rock.
If Seth wins, it becomes Seth fucking Rollins. If he loses, it's Seth
Wait, but,
Rollins.
but isn't Seth fucking Rollins just Becky Lynch?
Now, is this the last time we'll see Stone Cold in a WWE ring, or do you think that Vince
Um,
McMahon could convince him to do one more?
Well, I mean, it's
Do we see Stone Cold in
it,
at a Crown Jewel event?
well, it'll be at least 24 hours before I think we see him again.
Hmm. Well, you can't deny that it was one of the best moments in WrestleMania history. Just that whole segment, and I
Some
think
might say it's stupendous.
very true. One light back bump into the barricade was more than made up for by taking a full suplex on pavement. So you know what? Good on Austin for getting in there and walking for 14, almost 14 minutes after 19 years. That is truly stupendous.
I
Uh,
mean, this was this was this was WTF Mania, and ladies and gentlemen, if you thought this was the end, no, WTF Mania is just getting started.
how many stars do you give this match?
I'm gonna give it 3.5 just for the sheer entertainment of it.
And I give it 5 for entertainment, build up, crowd reaction. The wrestling wasn't, this wasn't Kenny Omega versus Okada, but it didn't need to be that. It was exactly what it needed to be, and it worked.
Uh, but my only issue with it is that while it was everything we wanted to see, at no point did we really believe that Austin was going to lose.
Um,
And that takes it out. That takes me out of it for a little bit.
I get that. Alright, how would you rate night one of WrestleMania?
Oh, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up.
I give it 2 thumbs up. And it's crazy that only dream matches were stupendous out of 6, but those more than made up for what we were kind of waiting to get off, not see.
I mean, we're. It used to be we were lucky if we got one 5-star match.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, now we're finally at the point where we're getting solid 4-star, high 3.5. You know, it's in night one definitely an upward trend.
right. Considering that the first match ended with an injury, but it came out very great afterwards. It may have started a little rocky, but it ended great. Alright, let's get to night two. We got Arcade Bro defeating the Street Profits and Alpha Academy to retain their World Tag Team Championships in 11 minutes and 30 seconds. This was everything it needed to be and more. But I mean, when you have Randy Orton in the middle of the ring, how could it not be great? No,
I mean, Randy, hits you with those Cody cutters.
I believe it was Riddle that hit the Cody. Well, what technically wasn't a Cody cuddle.
They're all Cody cutters.
Coming soon to
Nobody,
WWE.
nobody,
So,
nobody else did the Cody cutter.
Cody cuddles. Make your cookies into Cody's.
The Sweet Life of Cutter and Cody. I don't know.
How many stars do you give this match, Scudo?
Uh, I gave it chocolate milk. It was solidly entertaining. Um, hmm, th- you know what? I will go with 4.
Ooh, pretty generous. I feel I kind of have to give it 4 as well. It was a good match, so yeah. After the match, the Street Profits and Arcade Bro were toasting with Olympic medalist Gable Steveson. Um, and Chad Gable, who interrupted, and Steveson dropped Gable. WrestleMania moment, or is this something that's going to be a trivia question next time we do trivia?
The answer is Gableception.
Hmm. Have we ending that?
Yes.
Alright. Bobby Lashley defeated Omos in 6 minutes and 35 seconds. The crowd is really getting behind Lashley. And I could kind of understand why. I've never been the biggest Bobby Lashley fan. Probably the only babyface in my babyface loving days that I didn't really get behind. Um, but it seems like this is the version of Bobby Lashley the world has been waiting for. No,
Yeah. Yeah. I would say so. But at the same time, why book Omos to be this unstoppable juggernaut only to have him lose in the prime of said undefeated streak?
because they wanted to give Lashley a win.
He got one last year.
That was last year. What about this year?
He is Lashley is the Lashley is the only African American superstar to walk into WrestleMania as a champion and walk out of it as champion. That's pretty fucking huge.
I'm trying to think if you're accurate, but everything that's coming into my mind, yeah, you possibly could be right there. But it was more gratifying. I mean, it's not over between these two guys. MVP the night afterwards turned on Lashley and um, aligned himself with Omos. Now, I don't feel that that was maybe the right decision. I do feel Bobby Lashley still needs that mouthpiece, and there's not a lot of people better than MVP to get Lashley's message across.
I think the turn should have happened at WrestleMania. Quite honestly.
No, I think you you make it look seem like it's over, and then you bring it back the next night. I think they did a good job with that. But could this kind of sour this new Bobby Lashley that everybody's liking so much?
Honestly, I think this might sour Omos more.
Elaborate.
I mean, Omos is supposed to be this, colossus. He's supposed to be this unslayable giant. And Lashley comes in and slays him in less than 7 minutes.
I mean, let's face it. I don't think Omos could do longer than 7 minutes.
But that's the point. Like, Lashley should have thrown everything he had at Omos, and Omos should have still gotten up. But no. I don't know what I was expecting.
Well, how many stars would you give this one?
2.
I think that's fair. Next match, Johnny Knoxville defeated Sami Zayn in an anything goes match of 14 minutes and 25 seconds. And this had no business being as good and as entertaining as it was. No?
Yep. It did not. But god damn, was it fun?
I could have done without the party seeing more party boy than I would have liked. But the only thing that saved that for me was Pat McAfee saying on a commentary, "This isn't the first time I've seen this man naked. It's not even the second."
I mean, I'm honestly surprised Sami Zayn didn't try to channel the spirit of Umaga.
I feel
Because
like
the
that's
last time
something that Roman would do rather
the
than.
last time that I mean the last time the Jackass crew were in a WWE ring, they got ragdolled by Umaga.
Sure, we didn't. Wouldn't that been a sight? Umaga versus Johnny Knoxville in 2008.
See, at that time, Knoxville wasn't really promoting Jackass as much as he was because he was getting his own career outside of Jackass at that time. So that's why at that time we got Steve-O and Chris Pontius.
Well,
Now Knoxville is older, wiser, grayer, and sticks to what made him famous in the first place.
and he's two cheeseburgers from 175.
I love that.
Um, I mean, if you're a fan of Jackass, this was a home run. And if you've never seen Jackass ever before, you're probably saying, "What the fuck is this?" But you're still enjoying it.
Uh, Two things. One, Sammy's number has now been disconnected.
Oh, couldn't pay that phone bill.
Uh, Crap, I forgot the second thing. Damn it. damn it, I forgot the second thing. I was gonna say. Shit.
Well, we'll go move on to the. Actually, how many stars would you give this?
Mm, I'd give it 3.5 mousetraps. Oh, I remember. Uh, Sammy's new T-shirt is his face and a thought bubble that says "Don't tase me, bro."
Um, I give this. I really like this. I give it 4 stars.
I take it back. I don't give it 3.5 mousetraps. I give it 3 and 8/10 of a wee man.
Hmm. I feel like that's more than 3.5 mousetraps.
That's why I said 3 and 8/10.
Hmm. Alright, we Sasha Banks and Naomi defeating Carmella, Queen Zelina, Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley, Natalia, and Shayna Baszler in a fatal four-way tag team match to claim the Women's Tag Team Championships in 10 minutes and 50 seconds. Honestly, had no business being as good as it was.
And when you have so many superstars in the match, it is
A clusterfuck, essentially.
yes, yes, it is very hard to give everybody their proper due so that they can make the match memorable. And in all honesty, I I don't know if this was you know as good as it could have been. Um,
I don't think a lot of people were expecting a lot from this match.
true.
So to say that it was actually good when we were going to probably say meh, 1.5 star, I think they accomplished the goal there.
I also think that everybody knew what the outcome was going to be, so I think people treated this as the bathroom break,
Did they
or at
though?
least one of the bathroom breaks.
I think I was the only person that called Sasha and Naomi winning. That being said, how many stars would you give this?
I will give it I will give it I'll give it 3.5.
I give it 3. How many stars would you give Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan's ring attires for this match?
I would give it the full 8 inches.
Alright, we are going to our next match. Edge defeated AJ Styles in 24 minutes and 5 seconds. That's understandable because the staging area defeated AJ Styles before he got to the ring.
Yeah. I told you he banged his face into something. You're like, no, he did it. Boom. Turns out it was a big friggin' hazard.
I mean, who would have thought that AJ Styles was stupid enough to bang his head into the set?
I mean, who thought that, the WWE needed to remind their people standing at the gorilla position, don't fucking walk your face into that metal beam. They went to McAfee like, don't avoid that beam. And then like minutes later, somebody went up to him and was like, "Oh, there's something about the gorilla position." McAfee goes, "Face thing. I know." I mean, hey, you know what? Props to Edge for making AJ bleed before he even got in the ring.
I mean, that's a big psychological warfare.
And and mistake and correct me if I'm wrong, but it almost seemed like Edge was even poking fun at it by making it a target.
Well, I mean, he didn't even get to. He didn't even walk out the staging area. He came up on a flaming drone. So clearly, there was some mental warfare going on there. But nonetheless, incredible match. But I don't think anybody expected anything less from two all-time greats. No,
Exactly.
4.5 stars.
Yeah, 4.5. Not to the night here.
And that brings us to the night after when Damian Priest aligned himself with Edge. Uh, probably the most entertaining Mania after Raw segment.
Uh,
Um,
uh, it will forever be known as the night the WWE Universe chanted, "We are losers."
and Damian Priest saying, how he cared about what the people were saying about him, and the crowd literally shitting all over him. We don't care. We don't care.
Well, don't worry, because pretty soon they'll insert a beach ball into this feud.
And it would be more over than Damian Priest. I
Well,
feel like that's the next match. It's Edge and Damian Priest versus AJ Styles and Bad Bunny. And Bad Bunny tries to turn Damian from the bad side.
that's an interesting idea. Um, I mean, unless they get somebody, somebody with a cardinal gimmick or a pope gimmick.
Hmm.
Be like, it's the pope versus a priest.
Oh, D'Angelo De Niro.
Elijah Burke. Oh,
The Pope is pimping. Priest. Priest, don't be going that far. What's the
I
Charlotte
mean,
Flair Ronda Rousey match with you?
I mean, we could bring in, the detectives from SVU, and we could take this in a really dark direction with Priest.
Oh, God.
I'm glad I didn't have to explain that.
Dude, just way too far.
Excuse me. Yeah. Excuse me, Admiral Addiction.
Wrestling with Entertainment does not uh, condone or agree with the views said in a Wrestling with Entertainment episode. Send your hate tweets at Twitter to us.
We do not condone. We do not condone drinking and driving. Do your drinking first, and then do your driving. Otherwise, you might spill your damn beer.
Do not listen to Scooter Dust. is the moral of this episode.
Do not listen to Scooter Dust.
Samus and Ridge Holland with Butch defeated the New Day, Kofi, and Xavier in a minute and 40 seconds.
Who?
Xavier.
Who?
My thoughts exactly.
The three B's: Butch, Botch, and Bitch.
Oh, well, at least they got
Um.
the W.
Well, I mean, I hate the fact that they've turned Pete Dunne into essentially a temper tantrum throwing child. Um,
Yeah, at least he's
but
on TV.
tune in to you have to have watched SmackDown last night because Butch had his first match, in ring match on SmackDown against Xavier Woods, and Xavier comes out with a promo and says, I caught a red eye flight from L.A. Then I hit the gym, and Xavier said he worked so hard he bruised the weights.
Oh, God, that's a terrible dad joke.
I
Boo.
mean,
Boo this man.
I mean, if you're gonna make a reference to other gimmicks, I mean,
Apollo, the Consequences Creed.
you know, honestly, Sheamus or Ridge, or even if they let Butch speak and he says something else besides Timmy's trapped in a well, um,
And he was the one that threw him in it.
I mean,
Plus,
they could always say that they're turning the page on Xavier.
yeah, very true.
You
And for
know,
some, that,
or it can be like mind over Maddox.
and for a lot, that would be a wish come true. And I think we talked too much about a match that only lasted a minute 40. That's what Xavier's girlfriend said. Pat McAfee defeated Austin Theory in 9 minutes and 40 seconds. This definitely got the blood flowing, and probably one of the greatest entrances in WWE history, and it was only basically because of Seven Nation Army. No?
Yep. I want to walk with Ezekiel.
That's Elias's brother. Younger brother.
Younger and cleaner shaven.
Yeah. Better looking as well.
Kind of looks like Randy
Damien
Savage
Sandow?
when he started out.
Hmm?
Did you say Damien Sandow?
Yes.
I also thought that. Yeah, and that's weird because the first time I saw Elias, I thought he was Damien Sandow.
They could bring Damien Sandow to play Elias and have Elias be Ezekiel, and I don't think a lot of people would bat an eye.
Now, the question is, does Elias actually have a twin brother?
No.
Hey, how much do you know about the guy's family?
Enough to know that he probably doesn't have a twin brother. They were able to capitalize on that shit a long time ago.
Uh, I think the joke of the night, or rather, the best line about that goes to Wade Barrett. He says, "Oh, Zeke, I used to wrestle alongside him in the core." And then Vic Joseph goes, "No, not Big Zeke, you idiot."
Even the crowd was like, no, I'm not Elias, I'm Ezekiel. And they would say, yes, you are. Yes, you are.
I mean, what what's the Bible verse that Sam Jackson quotes in Pulp Fiction? Ezekiel 21:17.
I think it was Austin 316. And he just said, I just whipped your ass.
Actually, I think it was Elias 3:16. I just shaved my ass.
Hey, it's peachy. That was not on camera. That,
And
that brings us to Ezekiel's OnlyFans coming soon.
and Amish OnlyFans, where you see them put clothes on. Uh,
Um,
um, in, Speaking of, impromptu mania,
let's
because I
get
think, because
let's
I think honestly I think we can group McAfee in theory and what happened after into just one.
right, true, but let's kind of go over McAfee and theory for a moment because it is a whole separate entity. What happens afterwards? I mean McAfee. If only he came into WWE
Yep,
10 years earlier,
yep, that's exactly my thought.
could have been a. But do you realize that we could have had Pat McAfee instead of John freaking Cena? That could have been a thing.
I mean, we could have had Pat McAfee instead of. No, I'm not going to say it. I
Tell
can't
us,
say it. You know who I want to say, James, but
Batista?
yeah, I mean, instead of another football player turned pro wrestler.
Wahoo McDaniels?
Exactly. Ding ding ding. Right on the money. Smart as always, James.
No, it's Steve McMichaels. Fuck me, I always get those two confused. I
You
think.
get you get a fat Native American confused with a guy that carried a chihuahua around.
Oh, whatever, it's hot. It's 90 degrees right now. Damn it. It's over 90
Oh,
degrees. Um, the, again, just, McAfee, what could have been if it happened sooner? I give this 4 stars. Honestly, just because the crowd was super into it and it was a decent match. Screw.
yeah, but you know what? I will give it 4 too.
And that brings us to our next impromptu match at What the Fuck Mania. We got Pat McAfee versus Vince McMahon. That's right, Vince McMahon, an 76-year-old
Six,
man,
76.
76-year-old man, competed for 3 minutes and 45 seconds in a match against Pat that he won. I can't really say that this was a WrestleMania crushing moment because who, other than Shane, who can say that they had a match with Vince McMahon on WrestleMania? At their first WrestleMania.
Yep.
That's, all you want to comment, Scooter?
No,
You said no, right?
I said no.
So you have more to say.
No, I don't have anything more to say.
Alright, well, after that, we got, if Vince McMahon's in the building, then odds are Stone Cold will co- come in afterwards. And he did. He gave Austin Theory probably one of the best stunners since The Rock. Uh, he probably gave Vince McMahon the worst stunner since Vince McMahon. Um, what would you rank the stunner that Austin gave Austin?
And, a stunner from Austin to Austin. Um, you know, I guess Austin Theory uh, took the how to oversell your opponent's moves from Shawn Michaels.
Or The Rock. I mean, nobody sold that motherfucker more than Dwayne.
I mean, I have not seen selling like that since Shawn took the big boot from Hogan at SummerSlam 2005.
Yeah, just about. I think that was kind of melodramatic for a reason. This was, just selling to put over the other guy. My God, Vince McMahon, the most ungraceful bastard in pro wrestling.
I mean, at least Pat McAfee still had the wherewithal to finish drinking his beer after he got stunned.
Exactly. Alright, McAfee versus McMahon. How many stars?
All right, I'm gonna separate it into the actual match and the entertainment value. The match is 1 star because let's face it, it's McAfee jobbing to a football to the groin, essentially. I know it's to the ribs. I was making a Simpsons joke. Uh, the entertainment, however, 6 stars.
Alright. And you know what? I'll give it 6 stars too. Why the fuck not? And that takes us to our main event. The Universal and WWE Championship Unification winner takes all. Roman Reigns defeated Brock Lesnar in 12 minutes and 15 seconds. Some may debate that this was supposed to go longer, but Roman got hurt during the match. What say you, Scooter?
Uh, yeah, I don't know what people were expecting. It
The
was
match at
supposed,
Crown Jewel went 17 minutes, so maybe a couple more minutes longer.
but the thing is that Lesnar and Reigns, they're not going to do anything different.
They're kind
They
of
didn't,
comfortable with each other at this point.
yeah, but comfortable is boring. I mean, yes, we love seeing Trip to Suplex City, but you know, it's like beating a dead horse, burying it, digging it up, and then beating it again.
And then grinding the bones into ash.
I don't have to say grinding the bones to make my bread, but
And then making a quality adhesive as well.
and then making a blanket from his skin, and eating his liver with some fava beans and a nice Chianti.
Make a a nice violin bow out of the tail.
Um, this was as average a match as there was, and that's been the pattern of WrestleMania main events, except for 26, 28, 30, Mm,
Well, are we counting? Hold up a minute. Are we counting night one main events, or are we talking only night two event main events?
well, okay, I should post this. WWE Championship matches.
Okay.
I should, because they've just been underwhelming at WrestleMania, except for you know, the last WWE Championship match that meant something to me was 35.
That was Kofi and Brian.
Yep, and it's I want them to make I want the title to really be the centerpiece of a story. I mean, Xavier Woods put it very precisely on SmackDown last night, and he said specifically, WrestleMania is our season finale.
Yes.
So you know what? Pull out all the stops. I said this should have been an I Quit match.
And you might not be wrong about that, but could that have to do with who the players were? Brock doesn't normally go over 15 minutes in that ring. And he's not a Daniel Bryan esque workhorse. I mean, if you would have slapped the WWE Championship match on either Seth and Cody or Edge and AJ, I don't think anybody would have had any complaints about that. I think it's just, these titans, so to speak, are the champions when it should be, the workhorse more or less. No?
Yeah.
It is worth mentioning that the producer of this match, Pat Buck, uh, after producing this match, promptly got fired by WWE.
Yeah, he produced his way to the unemployment office.
Yeah. That's a really odd thing to report on, considering,
Uh,
oh, I produced the main event of WrestleMania, and now I'm on the unemployment line. Maybe he
oh,
made maybe he made so much money that he could just retire. Who
I
knows?
mean, supposedly he also had a big hand in Ronda Charlotte.
Oh, so it was his idea to do the boo pop.
Who knows? Maybe it was Andrade's idea.
Meh, he doesn't seem like that kind of guy.
I mean, we were all feeling tranquilo after that.
Mm. Um. So Roman and Brock, how many stars?
It was supposed to be the greatest WrestleMania match of all time, and yeah, it was a wet match in a damp cave. Mm, two stars, and that's being too generous.
I feel you are correct on this, so. Alright, night two. Thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle.
I am gonna say thumbs up in spite of it because there was some damn memorable stuff.
Oh, without
And
that. Right. And I also give this a big thumbs up. That being said, what night was better?
night one.
Why didn't you? You didn't even have to think about it.
Nope.
Is that because maybe more of the gimmick matches were on night two? The more pure wrestling was on night one?
Yeah. I would say that.
And the show as a whole, night one, night two, everything that had to do with this WrestleMania, where would you rank it with the other 37 WrestleManias that preceded it?
Well, it would definitely be in the top 37. Um, it was certainly better than WrestleMania 11. But then again, every WrestleMania is better than WrestleMania 11.
Even
Um,
27?
at least 27 had, Undertaker, Triple H. WrestleMania 11 had Undertaker and King Kong Bundy.
Fair enough.
I mean, yeah. After 11, not worst WrestleMania for me go 11, 9, 25. But you
25 was
but
when.
but but you can't blame 20. You can't. I can't really blame 25 because it had Undertaker HBK. So I look at Undertaker HBK as separate from that WrestleMania.
I don't think we watched the same WrestleMania 25.
Oh, with that thrilling Randy Orton Triple H main event.
I mean, yeah, it wasn't the most thrilling thing in the world, but we got to see the John Cena match was decent, all things
The
considering.
the entrance was decent.
I mean, the match was too. And then we got the Hardy Boys against each other. The Money in the Bank was always fun. Um,
There was a Money in the Bank match at 35 or 25. Damn it! Fuck!
yeah, there was.
Damn it! God damn it!
Was that Punk's
Dang it!
second?
Fucking my shit up.
That was Punk's second one, I believe. Yes.
Yes. Hmm. Um. I could put night one in.
No, it has to be both of them together.
Fuck. All right, I'll put it in the. I will put it in the top. I will put it in the top 15. Um, it was at least better than 37 and 36 combined.
Oh, we could both agree on that. But I say that this was top 10 for me. This was a top 10 WrestleMania, and one of two manias from this decade that was just very memorable, very entertaining. From up and from the top of the card to the bottom of the card, just great. I just thought this was one of the better ones. Alright, I think we covered everything there was about WrestleMania. No?
Yep.
Alright, then I will conclude our coverage for tonight. If you like what we're doing, please like, subscribe, comment, both on YouTube and Castbox. Of course, this was sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee. Um, join us this Wednesday as we interview Chelsea Jordan. And follow the show at Wrestling with E, both on Twitter and Instagram. You can go into the description of the video below to get our link tree for all our links and everything you need that's wrestling with entertainment related, including our sponsors. You can follow me personally at JamesJ993. You can follow Kaliko at I am Kaliko, asking I am Kaliko, where is Kaliko? And where can they find Scooter Dust?
You can find me taking naked pictures of your wife. That is, I take pictures while I'm naked. No, I'm kidding. I don't do that anymore. You can find me on Twitter at Scooter Dust. Of course, join James and I for the remix on YouTube. Come to you next time, May 8th, with WrestleMania Backlash. And of course, revel in my antics on Twitter, in the numerous Twitch channels I'm a part of, but specifically as part of the Smoking Dragons channel with Rico Constantino Jr., twitch.tv/Smoking Dragons.
For Kaliko Yachts and Scooter Dust, I am James J, and this has been Wrestling with Entertainment.
Hey guys, this is Brutal Bob Evans from Hangs with Bob Seminars and TheWrestleLife.com, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment, one of my favorite podcasts in the whole wide world.
Hey folks, this is the Colossal Mike Law, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment. Enjoy the show, support these guys. We appreciate it very much. We'll see you at ringside.